Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Talking Real Estate with Champions Real Estate Team here at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Ambassador Real Estate Company. My name is Mark Wehner II, team leader here at Champions Real Estate Team. Just want to welcome everybody into our Wednesday market update report. So we jump on here every Wednesday, give you a rundown what's going on in the real estate market, as well as what's going on in kind of the interest rates and stuff to that sort. So Russell usually joins us on Wednesdays, is not able to join us today. He's not feeling very well, so hope he gets better. But let's jump into our graphics that we use every week here. So over the last 7 days, we've had 444 new listings go live over the last 7 days, 375 new contracts written, and 409 happy new homeowners. So a little perspective of what these numbers kind of mean. So the new listings, so the ones that actually came active on the market for you guys, for everyone to take a look at. So the previous week we were at 377. So we got another 70 houses that popped up on the market there. So we're seeing, obviously, as the nicer weather, we've had a couple of days in the 70s. We're gonna start seeing more houses come on the market. Our contracts written, surprisingly, were down about 10 or 15. We were about 380, 385 in the previous 7 days. So I think depends on what people are doing out there as far as going to that route. But yeah, so let's take a look at the 30,000 foot view and look at what the Omaha and Lincoln multiple listing services is doing. So we have 1,946 active homes on the Omaha and Lincoln MLS. So that's obviously Omaha, Lincoln, and kind of surrounding areas. When we break it down into the Omaha metro area in the Douglas and Sarpy County, we have about 1,149 active listings, and then breaking that down number even further, is at 319 existing homes on the market for as of right now. So, and then new construction, we are at about 830. So I believe it was about 230 or 219 was the completed one. So spec homes, those houses are moving as well. Our months of inventory didn't really change, 1.9 last week, 1.9 this week. So as we're seeing, like we said, we had 444 active listings over the last 7 days. We're seeing, and that's up, about 70 from the previous number, but our months of inventory isn't changing. Our, number of homes hasn't really changed. It's been around that, right around that 11 to 1,200 ballpark there. And our existing homes is, right around that 300 number. So basically, as they're coming on, they're going off. So it's just kind of one of those things, is getting yourself ready to get in the market. Know that basically it's kind of just, one in and one out as it goes on. So those numbers, I don't necessarily see that we're going to trend upwards, as we're going to get more listings coming on, but we're also going to get more listings going off. So it's going to still look like that we have low inventory. We don't really have low inventory. I mean, yes, we do have low inventory, but we're having almost a constant supply of new houses coming on every single week. They're just not staying on the market for very long. Interest rates dropped down a little bit. So I was just looking right before we got on here, just below about right around that 6% mark. So I think that's going to kind of be our new norm, that 6%, give or take, in that regard. So I think some people are kind of getting used to that. We had a sales meeting this week. We kind of touched on those things and what the market's doing. I had a mastermind meeting last week. We're still seeing that below 350,000 price point. Those are very active, seeing multiple offers. Earlier in the year, we were seeing maybe 5 plus or minus offers on a house. Now we're seeing that 10 to 15. I think we're kind of going back to, the agents in that mastermind, our consensus is that's kind of what we're seeing in that price point. It's kind of what we saw last year. You're going to see people, lined up, out the door basically for some of those houses in that price point. And we're seeing kind of a sluggish price point, kind of that 400 to 500 up to about that 900. I think a lot of people have moved into that, in the recent, past couple of years, and moved up, and got those low interest rates. We're also seeing, talked about our mastermind, is that remodeling of houses has gone up significantly. Talking to some of those remodelers out there, because basically, those houses, those homeowners that are in those houses, with a 3% interest rate or even lower, they got equity in their house. They may pull a HELOC on it, redo the kitchen, redo the bathrooms, finish a basement, because they don't want to get out of that house and lose that potential 3% interest rate and go from 3% and buy a new house today at 6%. You're doubling your interest rate, so you're losing 30% of your buying power. So every 10% or every 1% that you go up or down in interest rate, you lose about 10% of your purchasing power. So, and then kind of above that $1 million price point, 900 plus, we're still seeing some very competitive markets in that aspect of it. So I think that's just kind of where we're at, what we're doing in the market, so I think it's a great time to buy, in regards to that. I think our interest rates are going to be kind of where they're at. Maybe, they're going to teeter back and forth, with the headlines that come out and things of that sort. But I think getting into a house now, and as more buyers are coming in the market, those prices are going to go up. Just based on what we've seen the last couple of years. Now, there could be other things that come down the road that we have no control over. Both, like I said, we don't have a crystal ball, but just looking at it from a big picture standpoint. But yeah, we're here to help you go over any kind of things that you guys have questions on. We'd love to coach you on what's going on in the real estate market. Is it a good time to buy for you specifically? Give you all the different options. One of the questions I get, frequently is, how much out of pocket, what are my out of pocket expenses prior to closing? So I can go over that real quick with you. So basically, when we write a contract, we do what we call an earnest deposit. So it's kind of like a good faith deposit that basically goes to the title company and stays there until closing, and then they can get credit back to you, unless if you were to break the contract or anything, that seller may receive that earnest deposit. So that typically, on average, is about a 1% of the purchase price. So if you have a $200,000 house, usually a $2,000 earnest deposit, you can do as little as much. But from a seller's perspective, if they got a lot of skin in the game, maybe do a $5,000 earnest deposit on a $200,000 house, that just looks like a little bit stronger. And then if you're going to do a home inspection, that's something that'll be written at the time of the home inspection as far as the payment. So basically, when we write the contract, you do an earnest deposit. Let's say on a $200,000 house, you're going to have $2,000, $2,500, depending on what you're comfortable with. And then you're going to have, say if you do a home inspection, another, $500 home inspection, give or take on that. So about $3,000 that you're going to be writing, at the time we write the contract. And then obviously at closing, you're going to have your closing cost, your down payment, as far as your initial investment is what I like to call it. So if you're putting 5, 10, 15, 20% down, that plus your closing costs on there. So that's just one of the rundown like kind of quickly for you. So if you have any questions on any of that, give us a holler. Happy to help you. Do a Zoom call, sit down and meet with you in person at the office, or go out to lunch or something like that. Love to work with you. Love the opportunity to it. So I want to thank, we just had our Easter egg hunt this last Saturday. We had, I wouldn't doubt it, we had probably over 500 kids there. It was crazy. So it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun seeing all those kids run after all those eggs. So we have pictures of that up on our Champions Real Estate Team Facebook page. So if you did attend that event, our pictures are up there. Feel free to share, print them, save them, and all that good stuff. So appreciate everybody. If you have any questions, as always, reach out to me, 402-672-7670. Love to help you, love to coach you. And also if you're thinking about getting into real estate investing, we can help you with that as well. So I think that's also a great time to look into that. So there, maybe some deals coming up. So it's one of those times you kind of just, we can coach you through that. So appreciate it. Thank you again for listening to us, and like, subscribe. That always helps us. Comment. We love to answer any of your questions that you have. So take care and enjoy the weekend and enjoy the great weather.